Hi, this video is from interview.com. Interview.com is a job portal. If you're looking for a job, you can post your resume with us. In this video, I'm going to talk about Spring Framework Hello World application using Bean Factory. We're going to talk about Bean Factory. What is Bean Factory? And I've written a simple code to explain that. This is Bean Factory is the simplest container providing basic support for dependency injection and defined by the Spring Framework package. And actually speaking, it's an interface, and XML Bean Factory is the implementation for Bean Factory interface. And this container, XML Bean Factory container, reads the configuration metadata from an XML file and uses it to create a fully configured application. Before going to the code, I just want to show you one picture for better understanding. So Bean Factory will be lying in the Spring Framework, so it's a basic container. So we are going to provide an XML file which has the bean definitions. That means I'll show you the XML file. So this is the configuration data. So it will have the name of the ID of the bean and the class that Spring Framework will create the object using reflection, and the property that I want to set whenever it gives me the object. Okay, and this is my object that Spring Framework will try to give me. So let's look at the picture again. So I have written in the XML file what I want and what are the properties and what is the class, the complete package I have given. So Spring Framework will load this XML file, read the objects, and it will register the objects with it, and whenever application calls is getBean, these objects will be created and give it to application. So what exactly Spring does here is management, creation and management of these dependent objects. That's why it is called dependency injection. So these dependent objects will be injected in your application, so that we can concentrate only on the business logic, not worry about these dependent objects. So if you don't use Spring, what will happen? Your application code has to create these objects and manage these objects. Okay, otherwise Spring will take care completely owning these objects. So let's go to the code. So I'm creating, let's start the debugging. I'm going to start the debugging now. So actually here we are creating new of XML Bean Factory, and we are passing the XML file here. Okay, so XML Bean Factory will read this XML file. One more point is XML Bean Factory is lazy loading. So what does that mean? So only it will load the classes, it will not create the objects. The moment you call this getBean, this is similar to a factory pattern method. So whenever you call this getBean, at that time it will create the objects. Okay, so now we are going to load this XML file, and you see here loading XML bean definitions from the class path result. So the moment I call this getBean, it's going to call my constructor. That means it is creating the object now. Okay, and it's going to set the property that I asked the Spring to set. Okay, if you see the XML file, I asked the Spring to set this property to this value, and it is setting properly. If you see here. Okay, so now our object is ready. We are going to use that object. Okay, so this is how Bean Factory can be used in a Spring application. Hope this video is useful. Thank you and all the best.